This is a portable NAS, or a portable network attached storage. And you may think that it's just like a regular external SSD, but this is way more than that. So if I were to describe this in one sentence, I would describe this as a smart portable external SSD. I'm not super tech savvy when it comes to specs of processors and computers and all that kind of stuff, so I won't be going over the specific specs of this drive, but I'll be leaving those in the description below. So this is the UT2 by a company called UnifyDrive. So this is not fully out yet, but it will be soon be launched on Kickstarter. I do want to say that although this video is not sponsored by UnifyDrive, they did send me this drive to try out, and I agreed because it looked like a very interesting piece of equipment for someone like me who shoots photos and videos. That being said though, the thoughts in this video are my own, and this company does not get to review this video or give any input on this video before it goes out. So you'll see this before they do. So in this video, I'll be going over the features that I find very interesting and beneficial to my workflow. If you are a photographer, content creator, filmmaker, or videographer, keep on watching to see whether this would fit your own workflow. Comes with this little silicone protective case. Feels really nice. And the actual drive feels pretty sturdy. So here are the ports. So this is the USB-C port, which also acts as a display port, meaning that you can plug in this via USB-C to a monitor that has display port, and you're able to view the contents of this in that monitor. There is an SSD card slot, as well as CF Express card slot, and a USB input here. I also got one of these, which is an adapter. This is a CF Express Type A to Type B adapter. We have Ethernet port, HDMI port, and a USB-C port, which I believe it's for charging. Let's see. This is the power button. This is the Wi-Fi hotspot switch button. And on this other side, this is the plug and backup button. We also get a charger, batteries, which are for the remote, screwdriver, and a bunch of cables. So we have an HDMI cable, USB-C cable, and an Ethernet cable. I also got one of these, an SSD card, which is a PCIe 3.0 M.2 SSD, and it's a 2280 size. You're able to expand the storage on this because there's 2 slots for the SSD, and you can, I think it's expandable up to 16 terabytes, which is quite a lot. So you can have 2 8 terabytes SSDs. The thing about these 8 terabyte slots or cards is that they're actually quite expensive. One 8 terabyte M.2 SSD is about $1,200 US. So if you get 2, that's not cheap. So that just means that depending on how much storage you want on this drive, you'll be paying more or less depending on the cost of that M.2 SSD card. So first we'll have to install the SSD. So let's use this to unscrew this. So now I have to align this SSD over here and plug it in, just like so. I also get 2 extra small screws here so I can finish installing that SSD. I only have one SSD for now, but this will be enough for me just to test this out to see how this works. You can hear now the fans are turning on. So I'll go to the app right there and I'll try to find this. Tap on scan QR code on the device, and there's a QR code right here. So this is now connected to the device, and initial setup is about 20 minutes. So we'll see if this connects first. For initial registration, I actually need to use the Ethernet cable and connect this to my router. I don't have the router here, so I'm gonna have to do that first. So these are some of the features that I like, and they're in no particular order. The first one is the ease of access with this drive. It is pretty much the size of a cell phone, and I'm able to bring it with me everywhere. You're able to back up the files that you have on your phone directly into this. So this is the app. You're able to see how much space you have. You can also select auto backup your phone photos, which I'm not going to do, but I'm just gonna upload a phone photo just to see how this works. This is connected to this via Wi-Fi on my home network. So let's select maybe all of these photos. There is a task center, pretty cool. So you're able to see all of this. So it's now completed. Let's go to my files, and all of these photos are now here in the drive. There's a bunch of settings here as well if you wanted to fully customize this and fully get into this. Another cool thing is that there's apps inside this drive or this software, which is really cool. You can go to see all, and there are more stuff in here. Alternatively, I can also access all these files through the desktop, either a Windows or a Mac via their own app as well. This is also great to back up any of your SD cards or CF Express cards, whether type A or type B. So if you're out in the field and you're shooting and need to quickly back up your cards, you can just insert them into the drive, press the backup button, and all those files on the card are going to be automatically updated or uploaded into this drive. The one that I'm interested in here is the plug backup. So this says that after enabling insert SD card or CF Express card, then press the plug backup button twice. You wait for 5 seconds and the device will start the backup process after 2 short beeps. So I'll enable this. So I have this SD card, and it has some behind the scenes from a shoot that I did recently, about 8 gigabytes of files, I think. So let's plug this in. And we'll double tap this plug backup button. So let's double play it. So nothing is really happening. So I'm not sure if it's actually going. Press this 2 times again. Press this, and it's been more than 5 seconds. I turned this on and off, and it still has failed to back up my SD card. So I wonder if it's because they're still working on some of the functions on this drive or maybe on the app, because it's not fully released yet, not even on Kickstarter. So I wonder if that is the reason why, but that could be it. So keep that in mind as you're watching this video, that this is not fully functional yet. These are some of the features that are supposed to be working when this is fully released. The other thing I like is this button here, which is the Wi-Fi and access point switch, meaning that you're able to access the files on this drive via Wi-Fi, but you can also access it locally via the access point. So that means you're able to access this drive without an internet connection. Another cool thing too is that you can enable flash drive mode, so you're able to use this as a regular USB stick. So I'm going to enable flash drive mode and see if it works. So capacity, I'll set, let's say 100 gigabytes of this, maybe less, maybe just to test it, 16 gigabytes of this to be flash drive mode, and I'll set this at exFAT, and okay, we'll let that create. Okay, seems like it's already done. Here you go. You're able to power this via an external power supply, and you're able to plug this into the wall as well. Even if you happen to not bring your cable or your external battery, this has its own internal battery as well. So there's a built-in UPS power supply, and that stands for uninterruptible power supply. Okay, let's try that again. Uninterruptible power supply. It has up to 40 minutes of battery life if you happen to forget your power bank at home. If I were transferring a lot of key files and large files, I wouldn't rely on the built-in battery, just because I wouldn't want any corruption or errors in the transfer to occur while I'm transferring files. Another thing that's really cool about this is it's almost like a mini computer that you're able to set file sharing settings and add different users. So if you wanted to share specific files with certain users, you can add those users and select the files that you want to share with those users, and also create username and passcodes for them. So that means you can easily share your video files between project members while at the same time keeping all your personal files confidential separately where they can't access them. You're also able to plug this into a TV via HDMI and use the remote controller. So let's see how that works. So got the HDMI plugged in. So first we need to pair the remote, and I believe it's home and OK at the same time. All right, so we have to scan the QR code. So right there, you can, okay, so we'll scan this. Log in with the current account to authorize. Okay, so just loading. Okay, I think it logged in. So now I have the remote and I'm able to control this. Via the remote, I can access my files, and these are the files that I had uploaded earlier. Let's go back. I uploaded a video as well, so we'll see if it plays. Nice. So I am not sure why this is not playing under movies. Maybe I need to copy that from the desktop app, but nonetheless, this is really cool. So I have uploaded a bunch of videos and photos to this drive. I'm gonna leave it plugged in at home, and I'm gonna go out to the park and see if I'm able to access those files from my smartphone. And we're going to test this thing. See if I can access my files from out here in the park. Let's see. Oh, okay. Status healthy. My files. Oh. Okay, it says we'll consume mobile data, but I'm okay. I just want to test this out. All right. This is cool. And my photo. So yes, I am able to access my data. And I feel like if I had video files that were larger and massive, it was probably best to have your drive connected via Ethernet port, let me say that again, as opposed to just Wi-Fi at home. So yeah, this worked. There are way more features on this drive, but for the most part, these are some of the ones that I think I would be using more often. The one thing to consider though is, because this is still sort of an early stage of this drive, I did have a couple of instances where I had to factory reset the drive because I was not able to log into it. But that is considering that this has not launched yet, and I'm sure that they're still working on the back end on the app and just on the overall software itself. But very, very promising product and very innovative. I haven't seen anything like this out there in the market yet. So if you're very interested in this, you might want to jump in when this is still a little cheaper on Kickstarter. This would be very, very useful if you are always someone who is on the go. So if you're shooting weddings, for example, throughout the day, you want to back up those SD cards, you're able to just do them on this thing very quickly without having to bring in your laptop. Or if you're shooting a lot on set, or you're traveling and you want to quickly back up your cards, then this would be very, very handy. All in all, I think this is a very, very promising product, and I'll leave links in the description below if you wanted to check them out. And that's it for today's video. And if you're still watching, here are a couple videos you could probably watch next, and I'll see you there.